started a little bit past 6 o'clock. So first of all, if you don't mind, please turn your cell phones on silent or off, either one. Welcome to the installment number 2 of our fall sports banquets. Just last night, we were up here and had our football and cheer and emerald banquet, and here we are again, celebrating the other half of the fall sports, the better half, right? Golf, cross country, and volleyball. So thank you so much for being here, athletes, parents, grandparents, siblings. The banquet is always a great time to really celebrate the culmination of a lot of individual accomplishments, a lot of team accomplishments, and really just reflect on all the positive things and all the great things that occur throughout the course of the season. And it goes far beyond just wins, it goes beyond stats and things like that. There's just so much more to athletics than that, but it's a great night to just sit back and reflect on the past few months and everything that you as parents and you as athletes took from the season, whether it be volleyball, cross country, or golf. Before we get started with an introduction of the coaches, I did want to call up Paige Hook to do the prayer for this evening. So Paige, come on up, the stage is yours.
God, thank you for bringing us all together this evening to celebrate the outstanding achievements of our student athletes. We thank you for our successes along with our failures this season because we were made better people because of them. Please be with us in all our future endeavors by guiding us however you see fit. We trust in your plan and we thank you for all of your blessings. Amen.
Thank you, Paige. Good job. Before we introduce the coaches, I just want to take a second to thank the parents who worked concessions at all this year. We did things a little bit different than what we had in the past. In the past, we set up a website, parents got on, signed up, that kind of thing, and it was really kind of a hassle, to be perfectly honest with you. So we changed things up a little bit, and we said, okay, we're going to have the coaches go out and recruit the parents to work, and that money is going to go, well, I shouldn't say that money, but money from concessions is going to go directly to our program. So the more fall events that our volleyball team, that our volleyball parents worked, the more money that their volleyball team received at the end of the fall concession season. And the same is true with all of our fall sports. And it worked out really great. I don't think we had one single parent that didn't show up, which is a change. Things went really smoothly, and I know a lot of you guys have better things to do. We're all very busy at this time of year, and we really appreciate you guys working, and it's great probably for you to know that you're working and the money is going toward directly toward your kids' sport. So that was a success. We're going to continue to do it that way, and thank you so much for those of you who have already worked and will continue to work in the future. Speaking of boosters, we have 5 booster officers that I'd like to recognize this evening. These 5 individuals do a lot of things behind the scenes that you guys don't even know about. There's no reason that you would know about it. You know, they come to meetings throughout the course of the year. They work the banquets here. They set up concessions all year long. The list goes on and on of all the things that these officers do, and they do it with no compensation. They're not getting paid. They're not getting any sort of kickbacks or anything. The only thing they get is a free booster membership. That's all that they get. So they spend a lot of time, and it's just out of the goodness of their heart and because they love our kids. So I wanted to recognize those 5 really quick. Hopefully I don't forget anybody. We got Rob Coleman, Andrea Fritsch, Christy Fleeman, Deanne Squires, and Laura Hunter. So nice round of applause for our 5 boosters. It's always hard to find new booster officers because I can't give them anything. I just say, hey, will you donate a lot of your time for nothing? And then, you know, sometimes people say yes to that, surprisingly. So hopefully those 5 stick around for a while. Okay, time for introduction of our coaches. I'm going to start at the far table back there and start with the gentleman at the far table. He is our JV volleyball coach, Mr. Tyson Roth. To his right is our freshman volleyball coach, and really I say they're a freshman and a JV coach, but which they are, that's their official title, but really they're our assistant, high school assistant coaches because they do more than just coach those groups. So our title of freshman volleyball coach goes to Mariah Ritter. We also have to her right our head volleyball coach, and that is Carla Basler. Moving on to the cross-country table, we have our head cross-country coach, Ms. Sierra Boyd. And Halleh is actually our middle school cross-country coach, but just like the volleyball program, she helps out with both middle school and high school kids, which is just a great way to do it. We do the same thing with a lot of our programs. So our official middle school cross-country coach that helps out with the high school, Halleh Fallert. And on to the golf table. You see, they were the ones to do the golf clap. I don't know if you noticed that or not. Furthest away from me is our volunteer coach this year. She's actually a graduate, played golf here just a few years ago, actually, and enjoyed it enough that she wanted to come back and volunteer her time, and that is Megan Selby. And the glue that holds all of this together is sitting right in the middle there. That is Mr. Ryan Mueller. The bearded dragon, as he has called himself, correct? Yeah. And finally, last but not least, our head girls coach, and that is Rachel McDaniel. So we're going to start with cross country, and we'll go from there. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our cross country coaches and let them begin the recognition of our kids. So you guys are up.
Well, good evening, everyone, and I'm so thankful that we're able to gather to celebrate the cross-country season that we had. And for starters, I'd like to just say I'm grateful for all the support that I received throughout the season. Thank you to all the parents for driving your kids back and forth from practices, pasta dinners, bus departures, and working the concessions, as Dr. Nix mentioned. And thank you to Dr. Nix for all that he does to keep athletics running smoothly. Thank you to Coach Halleh Fallert for continuing to get the kids excited from the middle school level on up. Thank you to my husband John for all that he does to help me throughout the season. And thank you to Eric Vaccaro and the entire Herald staff for all the sports coverage throughout the season. As well as thank you to Tyler Brown from Potential Therapy and Jess Fowler, who were helpful as injuries arose. And I just know there's so many other supporters, and I appreciate all that support we have throughout the season. Now I'd like to start with a review of the season before we move on to recognizing our individual athletes. We had several athletes who ran consistent summer miles and continued their hard work all season, which really had a positive influence on the entire season. And I look forward to seeing more of you all next summer. Our first race of the season was the Arcadia Valley Invitational. We were glad to return to this meet since we thought that the district meet would be at this same course this year as well. It was the first 5K for several of our athletes, and so there was a lot of nerves there. But we had a good first race. Nathan medaled in the boys varsity race, Adam medaled in the boys JV race, Hollyn, Sadie, Ayelyn, and Sophia all earned medals in the girls JV race. Our next race was at the Festus Invitational. Festus has some challenging sections on their course, but for a few of our athletes, it was one of the best races of the season. Mason, Corey, Andrea, and Sky all ran their fastest times of the season at this race, and Mason earned a medal in the varsity boys race. Hollyn and Dakota medaled in the JV girls race. We had the next Saturday off, but then raced the following Tuesday evening at the Postal Meet in Farmington. We raced several heats of the 3200 with the conference schools. This was a change of pace and routine, and I think the kids appreciated that. The heats were competitive, but everyone on the team performed very well overall. Levi, Mason, Nathan, Caden, and Sophia all medaled at this meet. Moving on to the next race, we went to the Cave Notre Dame Invitational. This course is very challenging, and the conditions this year were less than ideal. There was heavy rain during several of the races that day, and some portions of the course were like running through a lake. But for some of our kids, that was their favorite race. So nevertheless, several of our athletes improved their times, and the JV girls placed second as a team. Dakota, Caden, Sadie, Ayelyn, Sophia, and Hannah all earned medals to go towards that second place finish. Nathan, Mason, and Levi also medaled in the varsity boys race. Sometimes I think the harder the conditions are, the more our kids succeed. So sometimes we just hope for not beautiful weather days. The following week we raced at Potosi, which doubled as the conference meet. A group of the girls got their first varsity racing experience at that race. Nathan and Levi both earned all-conference honors after placing 8th and 12th in the conference rankings. Our final race before districts was the Farmington Invitational. Nearly every single one of our athletes beat their best race times at this meet, so it was a very exciting day. Overall, the girls and boys teams both had a very strong performances and gave us a positive mindset going into the weeks before districts. The district meet was very exciting again this season. We raced at the AV course, but it was not the same race conditions as we had earlier in the season. It was a chilly day and the course had several puddles. Since I started coaching, this was the second year we were able to race a full team in both the boys and girls races at districts, so I'm hopeful we can continue to keep our numbers up. The boys raced first this year. Nathan placed 6th and Levi placed 29th, making us all a little nervous. But that earned them both all district honors and qualified them for the state meet. It was a good racing experience in varsity for Adam, Shay, and Trey. In the girls race, Hollyn placed 11th, Dakota placed 22nd, and another nail-biter, Caden, placed 30th, and they each earned all district honors and qualified for the state meet. Nearly all the girls that day beat their personal record times by huge margins, so that was a great way to cap off their seasons. There was a lot of excitement as we looked forward to competing at the state meet. This year we took 5 athletes to the state competition, 3 girls and 2 boys. There was a lot of excitement and nerves before the race. Hollyn and Caden ran comparable times to their district race times and got good racing experience at the state level of competition. Levi ran a season PR to close out his season, and Nathan ran a lifetime PR and earned all-state honors and a medal by placing 19th. Overall, we had a great time and came home with new confidence and motivation to push ourselves and our teammates to be the best runners we can be. I would now like to recognize each of the athletes individually. Before I start, I have to say there's no way to be able to sum up all the silly quirks and hard work that you all showed this season. But I want you all to know that I had fun this season with you all, and I continue to be excited for future seasons together with the underclassmen, and I will miss the senior guys next year. As Dr. Nick said, there's just so much more to the season than the medals and the state qualifications, and so there's just so much that I won't be able to touch on, but I'll comment on one quirky thing probably from the season for each of you. This was the first year, though, that some of the athletes graduating have been with me all 4 years of high school. I've been really able to see the growth in them, and I'm so glad they stuck it out year after year. So I'll start with the boys team. As I call your name, please come see Coach Fallert and line up across the front. Freshman Trey Bloom. Trey had a huge PR at the district meet and really capped off his season well. Freshman Shay Coleman. Shay learned a lot about cross country this year and will be able to use this experience in the coming years. Sophomore Adam Oder. Adam likes to set his goals high, and I think he'll be a good leader in the coming years. Senior Nathan St. Clair. Nathan gained confidence throughout the season, and for the second year in a row, he dropped his 5K PR by over a minute from the previous year. Senior Levi Wiegand. Levi has a competitive spirit that shows in everything from racing to salting cracker throwing. Senior Mason Gegg. Mason is a great teammate and always keeps a positive attitude. I've had the privilege to get to work with Mason, Nathan, and Levi for the past 4 years, and although they drove me crazy at times, they've been a lot of fun, and I'm proud of them and all the growth they've had over the years. Let's have a round of applause for the boys cross country team. Now let's move on to talk about the girls team. Junior Dakota Meadows. Dakota had a renewed energy for running after attending cross country camp, and she brought that energy with her throughout the season. Junior Kylie Carlson. Kylie had some pains this season, but continued to learn more about herself as she battled through them. Junior Hannah Nacker. Hannah is a good teammate and helped bridge the gap between the upper and lower classmen this year. Freshman Sophia Fritsch. Sophia had a completely different attitude at the end of the season than she had at the beginning of the season, and her positivity brought a smile to my face many times. Freshman Sadie Greminger. Sadie fought some pain throughout the season, but hopefully the challenges helped her grow and become stronger in the future. Freshman Kaden Hook. This season showed Kaden that she can do things she previously would not have even tried, and it was exciting to see her efforts qualify her for the state meet. Freshman Caitlin Lay. Caitlin was able to bring her 5K time down through the season and will hopefully continue in that direction. Freshman Brianna Mitchell. Brianna improved as the season progressed and will hopefully continue on that way. Freshman Ayelyn Yochim. Ayelyn ran with a strong drive at the district meet, and I hope to continue to see that drive in her future. Freshman Hollyn Zangaro. Hollyn learned more about racing and training throughout the season and will hopefully continue to grow in her strengths. This is a very disciplined and dedicated group of ladies, and I hope they continue to find strength within themselves as they continue to run and compete. Let's have a round of applause for the girls cross country. Every one of these athletes standing in front of you showed determination and grit all season, and I'm proud of each of them. One of my favorite things about this group of athletes is the way they work so hard at practice as a team, as well as treat each other like family. They kept me smiling all season long. Now that they've each been recognized, I got a few season awards to hand out. We'll start with the awards for the girls team. Our first award is the Most Improved Award. This award was a difficult choice because each athlete showed improvement in different ways. But with her steady running, positive attitude, and dropping her 5K time by over 2.5 minutes from beginning to the end of season, this award goes to Sophia Fritsch. The next award is the Runner of the Year. This athlete improved in the way she pushed herself as the season went on and was able to qualify for the state meet and finish 54th in the state as a freshman. Runner of the Year goes to Hollyn, Zangaro. The final award is the Heart of a Dragon Award. This award represents determination, positive attitude, and fighting spirit. She helped create a good team atmosphere and while working throughout the season. This award goes to Sadie Greminger. Next, we'll move on to the boys team. Our first award is the Most Improved. Again, each of the athletes showed improvement in different ways, but with his consistency, perseverance, and dropping his 5K time by over 3.5 minutes from beginning to end of season, this award goes to Trey Bloom. The next award is the Runner of the Year. This athlete fights his own doubts about his running abilities, but was able to come around as the season went on and earned all-state honors by placing 19th at the state meet. This award goes to Nathan Selby. The final award is the Heart of the Dragon Award. This award represents determination, positive attitude, and a fighting spirit. I was proud of the perseverance and grit I saw throughout the season. This award goes to both Mason Gegg and Levi Wiegand. The team had an incentive program again this season, and the athletes had the opportunity to earn schools throughout the season through coming to weekend practices, running a PR at a meet, or team accomplishments. Nathan, Mason, Levi, and Sophia each earned 10 or more schools, so they will be receiving a Dairy Queen gift card for fulfilling the requirements of the incentive program. Each individual in this cross-country team is hardworking, motivated, and keeps practices fun, even through the heat, tough workouts, or tiring miles. With continued dedication, they will continue to find success. It is a joy to have the opportunity to be their coach. I am very proud of our entire season and the whole team. I look forward to these athletes continuing to build upon the tradition of SGHS cross-country.
Cross country and very good season, very promising young group there. Some moving on, graduating, who had great careers, but also a lot of promise in the youth there, especially on the girls' side with a lot of freshmen. So good things to come for our cross country program. We're going to go ahead and transition now to the volleyball program, and these guys. All of these coaches love to tell me all day long on the day of the banquet how much they just can't wait to get up in front of people and talk on a microphone. I don't even write anything down. I just get up here and talk, but they type things out and get everything ready to go, and then they get all nervous about it. So if they seem a little bit more nervous than me, I guess they're just not. This is probably about my 55th banquet, so I'm probably a little more used to it than they are. So. Speaking of nervous, turning it over to our volleyball coaches. It looks like we're going to start with the one who gave me the worst stink eye when she came in about having to talk. Coach Ritter's going to start us out with our volleyball. So come on up.
For those who really don't know me, I'm Coach Roth.
I had her as a student, man. She's really
This is my second year of coaching volleyball, but before I get started talking about our season, I'd like to welcome these wonderful freshman volleyball players up here. So when I call your name, please come up. We have manager Tessa Hager. Middle hitter and left back defensive player Elena Nacker. Setter Sophia Hook. Setter Kale Clemens. Right right-sided hitter, Renee Vogt. Middle hitter and left back defensive player, Kaylin Harmon. Middle hitter and middle back defensive player, Kaylin Fallert. Outside hitter and middle back defensive player, Abby Boyer. Right-sided hitter, Lucy Sears. Outside hitter and middle back defensive player, Grace Joggers. Right-sided hitter and right defensive player, Piper Estes. This year we finished the season 3-8-7. We took 4th place at our home tournament. What our record does not show is how much each player has grown mentally and physically. With the roller coaster of the season, this group of girls had a strong work ethic and were always open to change. From the multiple lineup changes that were last minute to playing a position they had never played before. These girls always kept an open mindset and were ready no matter what was thrown at them. Our goal as a freshman team is to create more diverse volleyball players, and we most definitely achieved this goal this year. Girls, I appreciate everything you did this season and I want you all to know how proud I am of each and every one of you. I cannot wait to see where your high school career takes you. I would like to finish by saying thank you. Parents, thank you for sharing these wonderful group of girls with me. Thank you for running them to practices and always being flexible with last-minute changes. I would also like to thank Coach Basler and Coach Roth for always being there and pushing me to be a better coach. Thank you to Regina McDaniel and Tessa Hager for keeping the book. Thank you, Kelly Sokowski, for always working the table at every home game. Thank you to our line judges, Dennis Strum and Ann Reynolds, for being at every game. Thank you to Dr. Nix for always doing everything all season long. And finally, thank you, girls, for a great season.
Good evening, everyone, and I'm happy to see you all at our fall sports ceremony tonight. For those who don't know me, I'm Tyson Roth, and I'm here to talk about the JV volleyball season. I want to start by thanking everyone for being in attendance tonight. The fact that you all are here means that the sport your son or daughter has chosen to participate in has contributed to them having success outside of an athletic event. They are dedicated to spending time out of their busy lives to come and celebrate amongst teammates their accomplishments or to their respective seasons. I'm going to do something a little bit different here. I'm going to talk more about the successes that we've had over our season and kind of how much we've grown character-wise. So it's a little bit of a different speech, not as much season related. So if you've played any JV volleyball for me this season, please come to the stage at this time. And I want you to order yourselves by jersey number. I know. I'm going to continue. This year, we began to instill 3 pillars on our athletes, which we hope that they can use and carry on in aspects of their lives beyond volleyball. Those 3 pillars were having a positive attitude, developing a strong work ethic, and being a great teammate. The pamphlet has our record, but no numbers will justify how good we were if we aren't creating human beings who will be successful with their future endeavors. Volleyball is temporary. However, the sport, just like many others, has more to offer than just competition. As I was creating this speech, I was going to pick individuals on the team for who I believe define what each pillar represents for Dragon Volleyball. But as I continued my thoughts, I couldn't choose just one individual, and then it came to the point where I had 4 or 5 for each pillar. There were also so many stories I wanted to tell about how awesome this squad is, but we don't have to talk all night, so I think I'll just make a personal message about how great character they've shown throughout the season and how much they've grown into even better people for our school and our community. Our first pillar is a positive attitude. A positive attitude will get you far in life. Handling situations in a positive manner in the midst of adversity is something all of us can do a better job of at times. A positive attitude puts us in a position to do the right thing, to allow people to have trust in us and what we do. Our second pillar is a strong work ethic. A strong work ethic is necessary for successes in the real world. There's a cheesy line that most people like to use that the only time success comes before work is in the dictionary, but it's really true. If you want to impress someone, you need to commit to what you're doing, and do everything to the best of your ability. Our third pillar is being a great teammate. This is something that I believe is overlooked all too often. A great teammate is not the one out on the court trying to get every dig or every kill or get every set or every block. A great teammate is someone who buys into the program and is happier to see their teammates succeed rather than themselves. They show people that they care, no matter what situation life throws at them. Loss will present itself, challenges will arise, and adversity is going to come into your life. How are you going to respond? A great teammate will remain loyal and love the process of getting the opportunity of being a part of something more than themselves. We've just begun to set the foundation of this program. There's no doubt these pillars will not only allow these athletes to have success on the court, but in all aspects of their future. Athletes, as you progress through your volleyball careers, don't be afraid to let your character shine on others in our school and our community. A few thank yous that I have. I want to thank our great administration, Dr. Boyd, Mrs. Jury, and Dr. Nix, for being so dedicated to our program and our student athletes, and it's just amazing how much support that they give every single sport. The faculty at SGHS, you guys are phenomenal. You really help lay the foundation of what kind of people that we bring out of St. Genevieve High School, and we can't thank you enough for that. The custodians and workers at games and concession stands, thank you guys for all you do. Tyler at Potential Therapy and all the media coverage. Thank our managers, Tessa and Halleh. I want to thank Coach Mo for always being supportive and easy to work with, even though we've had a roller coaster of a season at times. Coach Basler, I want to thank you for your passion for the sport and the knowledge you helped instill to me. Athletes, I want to thank you for all the memories and laughs and special moments and helping me grow as a coach. Parents and grandparents out there in the stands, thank you guys, like a huge thank you. We couldn't do what we do as easy if it wasn't for you guys, and none of this is possible without you guys, so thank you for all the time and dedication that you put towards this as well. I want to leave you with this. There was a message in my speech tonight which was a quote from Lou Holtz, who's a retired NCAA head football coach, and the message is simple and 3 easy steps for life. 1, do the right thing. People will trust you then. 2, do everything to the best of your ability. People will know you are committed. And 3, show people you care. People will see the love you have to offer. Girls, I love all of you and thank you for a memorable season. I can't wait to see what your future holds.
Good evening and welcome to the Fall Sports Awards ceremony. I'd like to start off by thanking many people who have made this volleyball season not only possible, but also very rewarding. To the players whom I've had the honor of coaching this past season. I appreciate all the hard work and dedication that you put into making this season great. Your passion for the game makes coaching such a rewarding experience. Thank you for another incredible season. I also would like to thank my coaching staff, Tyson and Mariah, for the many hours you dedicated to the younger classmen planning practices, as well as the many hours spent in the off-season watching game film, preparing scouting reports for each varsity opponent, taking stats, the list goes on and on. Your time and energy and advice has been very much appreciated, so thank you. To our team managers, Callie and Tessa, you did a wonderful job this year. Thanks for keeping the book and stats during all of our games. We appreciate all that you've done this season. To Dr. Nix for answering many of my questions and getting the gym set up for each and every home game. I appreciate all that you do. To Jess Fallert, who continues to help out with injuries and tape up athletes when needed. Tyler from Potential Therapy for seeing our athletes and getting them the right course of treatment to help get them back on the court as quickly as possible. To my husband, my kids, Landon and Holden, to my parents and my father-in-law, who have supported me in pursuing my love of the game. Without your help taking care of my boys, coaching could not be possible. To all you parents, thank you for entrusting this coaching staff with your most precious gifts. Please know that I love your girls more than words can express. I am beyond blessed to get to work with such amazing young ladies. Also, thank you for your dedication to the team, with driving to numerous camps, finding ways to get your child to practice, supporting our games, constantly washing uniforms, and maybe washing the knee pads a little bit more. Those are pretty gross, girls. And so much more. Next, I'd like to thank the various media outlets, Eric Vaccaro at the Herald, KFMO, KTJJ, Sun-Times News, and Maritime, and the Daily Journal for publishing articles and posting scores, and a huge thank you to our own SGHS media class and others that have covered our games. Thank you for providing the community with such a wonderful service. We appreciate all the coverage.
To Dr. Smith, thank you for the awesome video board. The girls look forward each year to watching their video, and it continues to hype them up before playing. Also, to all the workers that help at the games, line judges, Ann Reynolds, who line judged most of our home games, and Dennis Drum, who did most of our away games. To the scores table, Kelly Sikowski for keeping the score clock, and she also did libero tracking for us, and then bookkeeper Regina McDaniel. You make my life way easier and always willing to help out when needed, and so you're very much appreciated. Now I'd like to bring up these outstanding athletes to recognize their accomplishments and reminisce a bit about our 2021 volleyball season. So first, our varsity letter winners, Tessa Hager, who is a manager for us, and Callie Schweigert. Come on up. Freshman defensive specialist, Kale Clements. Setter, Jolie Parker. Sophomores, outside hitter, Alyssa Grass. And utility hitter, Hope Schmelsley. Juniors, setter, Devin Basler. She was named second team all-district. Utility player, Allie Byington. Outside hitter with a smidge of middle, Tessa Grass. She was named second team all-conference and second team all-district. Outside hitter, Drew Ketting, named first team all-conference and second team all-district. Defensive specialist and at times libero, Lexi Palmer. Defensive specialist and a smidge of setting, Ari Taylor. Libero, Maya Watts, named first team all-district. And our four seniors, right side hitter, Elizabeth Basler. Defensive specialist, Lana Kemper. Middle hitter with a smidge of outside, Abby Moore, first team all-conference, first team all-district. And middle hitter, AJ Prudent. Now to our season. We had a very successful season of 18, 10, and 1. Our season began back in January with weights and conditioning. Now, weightlifting is very challenging and demanding on the girls, and it would be easy to complain or slack off, but these girls were determined to not have our season this year end like the previous year. So they just put in the work and didn't complain. The girls wanted to be able to say that we put it all on the line and did not have any regrets at the end of the season. And yes, they wanted the outcome of district champions. This hopeful potential outcome was their motivator all season long. Once summer finally came along, we were able to finally play against other teams and work on finding the right pieces to the lineup. This did become difficult as we only had all of our varsity players for one of our summer scrimmages. Once summer ended, we were hopeful that we'd have all our pieces together so we'd have ample time to work on our lineup. But injuries presented themselves, making this not an option until much later on in the season. The girls became quite good at rolling out with a new lineup for the most part for the first half of our season. These injuries challenged our team, but they dealt with the adversity thrown their way, and each time they stepped onto the court, they played with lots of grit. To be 18, 10, and 1 with the tough schedule we play and the amount of injuries we encountered, I think this truly shows just how hard these girls play and the amount of talent they possess. A week before conference play began, we had all the pieces to our lineup finally back. During this time, I threw out what I thought would be the last change of our season lineup, and I switched from running a 6-2 to a 5-1. Once we switched to a 5-1 and all our pieces were back in the lineup, we finished the season 11-4. We grew a lot in just a few short weeks. From the first time we played Farmington, It's a game that we needed to learn from and grow from. We lost in 4 sets, and I think we could all agree that it wasn't the best of our volleyball abilities. 2.5 weeks later, we had our shot at Farmington again in the conference tournament. We won in 2 sets, 25-16, 25-20. The girls came out ready to play, confidence in themselves and in their teammates, and played with tremendous heart. They played like dragons. Ari coined the phrase, "We don't lose on passes." And this was our motto throughout the rest of the season. This meant sacrificing our bodies for every single point. With this win against Farmington, we put ourselves in position to play Valley for conference championship match. Although we lost the match, we did end up with a better seed than when we entered the tournament. Now we had a week to prepare for district and figure out how to beat a team that we had lost to twice so far this season. We would need to do something different. Initially, thinking to rotate the lineup to put up a bigger block against their middle would be the answer. So we tried this against Potosi, and it didn't work well as we ended up several times behind in those sets. We couldn't afford to dig a hole against Valley in the district championship match, so I called for an emergency meeting. I explained to the girls what I wanted to do to the lineup and why and how I believed it to be the best shot at beating Valley and winning a district championship. Now, most players would be upset and unwilling to run a lineup that we've never used before. But these girls have been so used to running whatever lineup and just playing hard no matter what. I think it shows how much these girls trust each other to play hard and do whatever it takes to win. And it also shows the tremendous amount of trust they place in the coaching staff. We did still come up short in the end, but the girls put it all on the line. They worked incredibly hard, played with tremendous heart. We can hold our heads high, and we can say that we did everything possible to come up with an alternative outcome. My regret, and I shared this with the girls after the game, is that I didn't think of that lineup sooner. We just needed some time to practice it. I am incredibly proud of how hard you played. You believed in one another, worked hard, played with a lot of heart, and put up a dang good fight. Although the loss hurt because it was not the result we've been working towards since last January, the girls handled the situation with true grace and like great sports. You are champions in my heart. And I'm so proud of everything we have accomplished together, but more importantly, I am proud of how you worked together as a team and handled these difficult moments with such class and poise. Girls, I would do it all over again. As I've enjoyed our time on and off the court, you are truly amazing young ladies, and I am one lucky coach. Thanks for the constant laughs with your terrible, and I said still slightly, but I think it's more than slightly, inappropriate dancing, you know. And thanks for including me in your locker room dancing. This always got you hyped to play. If you don't know, our ace cheer does come from our locker room dance. Can't you feel my heart beat fast? I want this to last. Need you by my side. Whoop, whoop, whoop. That was their cheer, and that got them hyped. So just a little song for you all. Thanks for loving the sport, loving playing together, and bringing many smiles, electrifying energy to the game, and mostly for bringing joy to the game of volleyball. To the seniors, there will never be the right words to express how special you are and how special you've been to the St. John Volleyball program. Thanks for your leadership and working hard the past 4 years. We will miss you next year, but you have left your legacy behind on how to play and work together as a team. We love you and wish you the best in your future. Now I'd like to introduce our medal winners and award recipients. The medal winners are based on who is the leading stat holder. So for most digs, she had 251 digs by the end of the season. Miss Maya Watts. Most kills this year with 269, which is 60 more than what she received last year when she earned this award, Miss Drew Ketting. Most assists was 633, Devin Basler. highest serving percentage with 96.0%, and the girls will tell you that anything over 95% is a really dang good serving percentage, and it's what we strive for. And the leader in this category was Miss Abby Moore. Most blocks in a season with 86 total blocks, which is a new school record for total blocks in a single season. AJ Prudent. And most ace serves with 44 aces. Again, a new school record for most aces in a single season. Miss Drew Ketting. The following awards were voted on by the players. The first award is the Heart and Hustle Award. Heart and hustle is a saying we use that means that no other team out-hustles us and plays with more intensity or passion for the game. This is the ultimate team player award. When we step onto the court and do those two things, then no matter the outcome of the match, we can hold our heads high. To win this award, one must always give 110% out on the court. When things look bleak, this is the person who is lifting everyone up. This is the positive teammate. This is the person who has sacrificed their body over and over again to make an amazing play out of something that seemed impossible. Although several of our players fit this description, and our heart and hustle is what made this team fun and exciting to watch, there was one individual who the majority of the team voted for. This player was always uplifting her teammates during practices and games, whether she was on or off the court. When on the bench, this player was making sure the bench was involved in loudly cheering. She was a true leader on and off the court. You could often hear her yelling from the bench, line, cross, tip, just trying to help her teammates in any capacity that she could while on the bench. And for the beginning part of the season, she was on the bench a lot due to an injury. But even during this part of the season, you just saw and heard her being the best teammate possible. Once she was healthy, it was decided that we needed her powerful swing on the outside versus middle, which she had played all summer. She never complained about moving positions. She just said, "Yes, coach," and then went to work. When she was struggling with her serve, you never saw her pout or make excuses. She'd just look you in the eye when she came off the court and say, "I'm gonna get it, coach, promise." And then the next day of practice, she would work harder. There's one specific example that really comes to mind this season that really proves why this player is deserving of the Heart and Hustle Award. This was during a really difficult practice with a very challenging team conversation before practice had begun. As the girls stepped onto the floor, you could just see the tension. And as a coach, you wonder, how in the world am I going to unite this team together again? So we begin to practice and begin with hitting lines. And usually when we are hitting, it's noisy, but kind of in a good way. You hear encouragement such as "nice hit," "great set," etc. But this particular practice, it was almost silent. Awkwardly silent. You heard my voice and one other positive voice trying to uplift her teammates. After a few minutes of this very tense drill, I called the girls together. And this is one of those moments that you really need to say the right thing to bring them together. So I said, "Girls, do you know what it is that I love about tea?" And I waited, and not very long, because it's pretty easy to see what it is about tea that would make anyone just love her. But someone chimed in and said, her positivity, and how she's being a great teammate to everyone by letting them know when we do something awesome. I said, yes, she sends love to her teammates, and we are all teammates, so we have to love each other and send hearts. Then they all turned to each other and sent hearts to their teammates. And you would often see us in tense, uptight moments in a game when we needed just to breathe and relax. Somebody sent this symbol out on the court. It meant a lot to our team. You could feel the tension release, and we got back to practice, and the energy had changed. Without T's positivity and great leadership, I'm not sure how the rest of that practice would have went, or even the rest of the season. Your heart for this team and this sport is tremendous. Your leadership is truly amazing, and I am excited to watch you continue to lead the team next year with your tremendous heart and hustle. You always give it your all. So Tessa Grass, please come forward to receive the Heart and Hustle Award. The next award is our Most Improved Player. So this goes to the athlete who has shown the most growth within a season. This starts day one of the off-season conditioning to the end of our season. The individual who shows most improvement has to have a tremendous work ethic, a focus on getting better, and dedication. This individual knew from the beginning of the season in January that she would have tremendous shoes to fill from last season, as we needed someone to replace the recipient of last year's Heart and Hustle Award and the overall MVP award, and who broke the school record last year for assist. These accolades from last year's setter did not strike fear in this athlete, however. But Brittany's tremendous accomplishments from the previous season just motivated this athlete to work hard each and every day. In our one-on-one conversations, we talked about how her hands are some of the most beautiful hands I have ever had as a coach, but that she would need to make defense her focus and releasing to the net quicker so she could get her hands on the majority of the second balls. During summer, I could see that she was focused on making her defense stronger and becoming quicker. She was doing everything she was asked to do and was extremely coachable all season long. At the beginning of the season, it seemed like running a 6-2 would be our best option, so our setters wouldn't get fatigued playing best of 5 sets, and because this would put for a very short blocking on the front row. However, about halfway through the season, it became evident that the benefits of switching to a 5-1 would outweigh the concerns of running one. This athlete continued to work harder to prove that she could run the 5-1. She ended up with 633 assists this season. This puts her in 3rd place for the most assists in a single season. And if we would have started the season in a 5-1, she would have easily broken the single season record for assist. I think this proves just how far she has come from the start of the season and how hard she has worked to run the offense of our team. Devin Basler, please come forward to accept the Most Improved Player Award. Congratulations, I'm excited to watch you continue to grow next year. Thank you for working hard. The next award is our Offensive MVP. One of our greatest strengths as a team was having a variety of offensive weapons who could put the ball down. Having many options made it difficult for our opponents to know who to put a block up against. There were many nominations for the Offensive MVP, and I think that's because we know that we had several hitters and options of who could put the ball down when needed. Devin also did a really great job of moving the ball around and getting the ball to multiple players. So our top 3 offensive players averaged between 2.5 to 3 kills per set. We didn't have just one offensive go-to threat, and this did make us a difficult opponent to defend. Ultimately this year, our offensive MVP did lead the team with most kills with a total of 269. She had a variety of shots with line, deep cross court, and sharp cross, which made her a lethal weapon. Oftentimes, she put the ball down at a crucial point in the game. She was voted as first team all-conference and second team all-district. Once again, your offensive MVP is Drew Ketting. Congratulations. I have 2 more awards. Defensive MVP is next. This year's defensive MVP is awarded to the player who continuously hustled out on the floor and kept balls playable that seemed impossible. She made some amazing plays in the district championship game that kept the ball alive and created numerous long rallies and helped build our momentum. What makes someone a great defensive player is their ability to put themselves in a great position to play the ball, to be able to read the hitter's hand and shoulder, and their willingness to sacrifice their bodies for every play. I think this player's bruised hips and elbows, their calf strains, show all the sacrifices that her body made in order to keep the ball up. She had sacrificed her body to make a play that had caused an injury that kept her off the floor for about 2 weeks. While she was healing, the team had tremendous shoes to try and fill, and although each player did step up, her presence was missed. The defensive MVP had the most digs with 251 and the most serve-receive receptions with 339 this season. The 2021 defensive MVP is Maya Watts. Maya embodies everything that a coach wants in a libero, and I look forward to the amount of hustle and hard work that you continue to put forth next season. Our final award is the overall MVP. The way I explain the most valuable player to the girls is without this player, our entire season could have or would have been different. And don't get me wrong, we have several individuals that could fit this description, as all of our players are valuable to the team. However, there was one individual who received 90% of the votes, which I think truly shows the value of the individual. This individual has been a varsity starter for 4 years, mostly as an offensive weapon, playing outside hitter for her first 2 years, and then middle hitter for the past 2. Last year, when teaching her how to transition to play middle, and especially working on closing blocks, you could see her laser focus, hard work, and determination to be the best. When she steps onto the floor, it's always with lots of passion and effort to get the job done. Last year, she stepped up in a big way to play one of the toughest positions on the court, as you're constantly moving side to side to close every block, and then quickly transitioning to make yourself an option on offense and to make sure that you are holding the other team's block if we don't set you. It's quite an exhausting job. It is typically unheard of a middle who plays all the way around because of the physical demands it takes to play this position. In fact, other coaches remarked at how impressive it is for our middle to be able to play all the way around after the district tournament match. None of their middles could do the same. We tried giving this player rest at the beginning of the season when she made it to the back row. However, it became evident that her competitive edge and leadership was needed at all times. So we made the switch to play her all the way around. Again, the benefits of having her on the court at all times outweighed resting her on the bench. She ended the season with 129 digs, a 96% serving percentage, 44 total blocks, 194 kills, with a hitting percentage of .297. She was voted for by multiple players for both the Heart and Hustle Award and the Offensive MVP, which I think proves what a tremendous athlete she is. She was voted on by other coaches for First Team All-Conference and First Team All-Districts. The 2021 overall team MVP is senior Abby Moore. Congratulations, Abby. We will miss your leadership, your tenacity, and your competitive edge out on the floor next season. You have left big shoes to fill. Once again, thank you girls for an amazing season. I've enjoyed all of our time together. I look forward to the hard work that you will continue to put forth into next season. And now let me wrap this up by saying the one major motivator for this team. Let's go eat Mexican.
Great job, what a fun season it was to go and watch our volleyball players. They had a great season, and I know they were hoping for better than 18 and 10. Very capable, more than that if had injury not plagued them for several weeks of their season. Man, a lot of teams would kill for an 18 and 10 season, and our girls definitely wanted more than that, and had a great season. So, and Coach Roth, to my defense, I knew you as Ritter for way longer than you've been Roth. I knew you when you were in middle school, when you were dribbling basketball down the court. So I used to make fun of my dad all the time because he would always call people by their maiden names, and I would tell him he was old, and that's why he did it. And here I am doing it in front of hundreds of people. So I guess that means I'm old too. Last but definitely not least, we got our golf program, and Coach McDaniel has agreed to do all the talking this evening. I don't know if she actually agreed to it, but she's going to do all the talking. By the way, if you hear a little bit of Christmas music over in the other room over here, that's the beauty band practicing. Hopefully it's not too distracting, but that's what that is. So you're not hearing things. So without any further ado, also before we leave this evening, right after golf, we'll do banner. We'll draw for the banner. We'll draw for the 50-50, and then we'll do some pictures of our award winners. So golf, you're up.
Thank you, Dr. Nix. It takes a village, so I have a whole page of thank yous, so bear with me. First, I'd like to thank the district for giving us the opportunity to represent
The Southeast Missouri District has very few girls golf programs, even with programs getting added every year, but it feels like in 8 seasons, we are on the forefront of that. So I appreciate the district for that opportunity. Dr. Nix in the athletic department, our schedule was packed this year with great competition. We were constantly picking up matches and tournaments, and Dr. Nix doesn't miss a beat, so thank you for all you do, Dr. Nix. SGHS faculty and staff. There is no secret that we miss a lot of school. Sometimes we had 4 matches or 3 matches in 1 week, and sometimes that was combined with tournaments, so our kids were gone a lot. But our teachers, they make it possible for our students to be athletes, but also prioritize being a student. So thank you to the faculty and staff of SGHS. Chad Chili in the golf course. The use of the golf course, Chad, I ask him and he just tells me, what else can I do? He's been great for our program, not only the girls side, but the boys side. So we appreciate everything they do to help out the golf program. The community center, Brad Arnold, Brian Gegg, we have these beautiful netting systems purchased by the Booster Club, and they're housed at the community center. And we just say, hey, it's raining, can we come play? And they're like, yeah, sure. And we pull them out and we get to play. So that saved us a lot of practice times where we couldn't practice or swing this season. Our media, Eric Vaccaro in the Herald, KTJJ, J98, Sun-Times, Daily Journal, Greg Allen at KFMO. It's coming from a town that golf was not covered the way it is here. I am so grateful for the coverage we do get here for girls golf. So thank you for your coverage. My 2 coaches, starting with Megan Selby, Coach Megan. Coach Megan is a former player of this program. She came in as a junior, and she's been asking to come back as a volunteer assistant coach, and the stars lined up this year, and she was able to do that. Made all the practices, she marked at districts. She was able to come in and provide a perspective to my players that I couldn't provide. So I appreciate her coming in and preaching those same values I taught her when she was coming through. The glue to my program, Coach Mueller. That's all I'm going to say. No. But in all seriousness, as coach that used to coach both boys and girls golf, Coach Mueller joining both of our programs just has been phenomenal. As the boys head coach and then volunteering for me in the girls season, we are just so fortunate to have Coach Mueller as a part of our program. He's really an asset. I don't know if I'd call him glue, but adhesive, he says, adhesive, and I think I can roll with that. My husband, we both coach in different seasons, and that's intentional because we know the other one is going to pick up all the slack, and it's never slack. He's like, I can't even call him Mr. Mom because he's just a super dad. So I appreciate him just being an all-in girl dad to our 2-year-old Mason so that I can come out here and have all the fun with my girls during the fall. My parents. I have the best parents. Sorry, volleyball, sorry, cross country. Yep, they're the best. They jumped in for fundraising when I said I wanted to fundraise. They jumped in and started attending events. My underclassmen parents threw a phenomenal senior night out at the golf course. There would be times that we'd be in away matches or tournaments and we would have more fans on the golf course than the home team. That's just the kind of parents we had. On senior night, I had the girls write down the people on their wrists that they were playing for that night, and most of my girls chose their parents. Guys, you've raised phenomenal girls, and I really enjoyed the season with them and getting to know you as well. So thank you for being so supportive of your girls in the program. And last but not least, my players. I'm gonna look at you. You guys did what you needed to do this season, and you made it extra wonderful and extra memorable, most of you. And just kidding, all of you. And it's not a season without you, but let's just talk about that season. This is season 8 for this program, so we're fairly young, and it was one for the books. With COVID-19 not really being a major player this year, we got to have the season that I wanted last year. We got to bond, we got to laugh, and we had a season filled with laughter and success. Our records don't do our season justice. We were 6-8 at the varsity level, 3-3 at the JV level, and 14-33 at the tournament level. The records just don't tell you that we got 3rd place at our first annual Dragon Invitational. Had 4 tournament medalists throughout the season, both at the varsity and JV level. Won 3 varsity matches at the varsity level, and had 3 individual match medalists. They don't tell you that our varsity team won a match by 1 stroke against Lutheran South and Lutheran St. Charles, 2 very big St. Louis pride schools. These records don't tell you that our JV beat Clayton High School pretty soundly at their home course in our only official JV match of the season. So our records don't do our success justice. Honestly, they never do. Every season we set goals, and this season we set lofty goals. We wanted to shoot 185 as a team during a 9-hole match and break the 9-hole record again like they did last year. We wanted to shoot 430 as a team in an 18-hole tournament, which would beat 447 by last year's team. And we wanted no negative comments at one golf match for a whole round, mostly pushed by Coach Mueller. As always, we shoot for the Mission Team Academic Award as well. We didn't meet our goal of shooting 185 during a 9-hole match. We were only 12 strokes off, and we shot 197 twice, and I'm really proud of that fact. Admittedly, I was so focused on the 9-hole score that I forgot about our 430 for an 18-hole tournament goal, and not only did we accomplish that once, but twice. We shot 424 at the St. Clair Invitational. There's just something about that golf course for us. And we shot 419 at our home tournament, the Dragon Invitational. While remaining positive on the golf course is extremely difficult, our JV was able to accomplish this. Our JV team went an entire match, the JV match, we call it the unmatch, versus Clayton at Normandy, without any negative comments. In fact, they were so positive, their energy rubbed off on their competitors. I don't know if they know what that day was like for me as their coach, but I've never been so proud of beginning golfers in my life. We still await to see if we're amongst Misha's team awards, so all in all, 2 out of 3 golf goals isn't too shabby. We learned a lot together as a team this year. We said we got the most out of practices and really expanded our skill sets. Each golfer had different strengths, but they put aside those to work on their weaknesses, which is not a glamorous task, but these girls were able to make the hard work fun. They wanted to learn, they wanted to get better, and they want to be good golfers. It felt like there were so many teachable moments during our competitions this year that we had lots to base practices around. For our part as coaches, we capitalized on every teachable moment we could at practice and on the course. For their part, they were coachable and applied themselves to be the best golfers they could be. It was a magical scenario that coaches only dream about, but I guess dreams do come true. Admittedly, my favorite part of the season was these young ladies. If these girls had issues with each other, you wouldn't know. They worked with each other and alongside each other to get better. They laughed together, they cried together. They laughed until they cried together. They were a team first. They were phenomenal teammates to each other. They cheered each other on sincerely and genuinely. They wanted each other to be their best because that is what was best for the team. I found myself staying out of the way at practice because I just wanted to watch their dynamic. It was unreal. I can say without a doubt that this was the best team I've coached in all my 8 years of coaching high school golf. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself in the program. May want to knock on some pretzels, right, Lainey? Now I want to spend some time talking about my athletes. I'm going to start with my freshmen. So when I call you to just come stand up here, these people are gonna hand you stuff. Starting with freshman Stella Cox. And me is her nickname. Stella was an absolute joy to have on the team. She wasn't sure about us at first. It was easy to see that. But that quickly subsided, and I loved getting to see this side of Stella. Stella made a 10-stroke improvement from her first 18-hole tournament to her last, and shot 55 at Kimberlin Country Club, a difficult golf course on our schedule, after shooting 73 in her opening match at home. So again, an 18-stroke improvement. I look forward to watching Stella blossom next season after some off-season golf. Next freshman, Braylon Palmer, BP. I've heard it said about newborns, although she may be tiny, she is fierce. It's not for our newborn, this is Braylon. It fits her perfectly. She's quiet by nature, but is an absolute competitor when on the course. Braylon got off to a brilliant start, but the second half of her season was challenging due to a shoulder injury. The highlight of her season was her 54 at our home match against Lutheran South and Lutheran St. Charles, which was clutch in pulling out that one-stroke victory over Lutheran South. With her injury behind her, I can't wait to see what her sophomore season holds. Carly Basler. Cat, cow, cab, cow, right? Carly had a tremendous first season. She was called up early to attend the Boonville Par 3 tournament and had a respectable first showing. After her first couple of matches, Carly found her stride, shooting 55 on multiple occasions, twice at the varsity level. Her greatest achievement was her 5th place finish at the St. Clair JV Invitational. My favorite moment was texting Carly at the very last minute to fill in a spot at the Farmington match play. Carly's response, "I'd love to." She smiled the whole tournament. I can't wait to watch her positive energy and hard work take her places her sophomore year. Sophomore Amelia Grine. Amelia joined us halfway through the season season and extenuating circumstances made her time with us short. Watching Amelia at practice was easy to see she had natural ability, and I can't wait to work more with her in her junior year and watch her grow as a golfer. To my juniors, Mia Schweigert. Sly shirt, wrong shirt, because she showed up routinely with the wrong shirt on several occasions. It's not golf related, but every time I think about this, I laugh. If you don't know Mia, or at least the Mia I know, she doesn't get really excited. She doesn't panic. She's really, really even keel. She doesn't like to make a scene that's not her. So to that point, we were unloading the bus at the St. Clair Invitational. We were in a very packed parking lot, and the bus was blocking all of the cars. And so I was telling the girls, get your stuff out of the way, like hurry up. So they unloaded everything from the bus, or so I thought, and they got it out of the way, and I left to go to the coaches meeting. So later on, I was going over the rules for the tournament, and Mia asked for a water bottle. And every single one of these girls has a really nice Hydro Flask or some type of really loud water bottle. And I was agitated at her timing. I'm like, no, you just fill your water bottle later, you know, whatever. And she goes, I don't have a water bottle anymore. And she explained that she grabbed her bag and she grabbed her cart out of the parking lot, but had left her water bottle. And the person behind her was so anxious to move in the parking lot that they had run over her water bottle. And she just stood there because that's Mia, so she's walking towards it. She just awkwardly backed away and didn't really know what to do. So I just want to say that in the battle versus big truck and Hydro Flask, the big truck wins. But I wanted you to have this to remember your water bottle by. Poor Mia. Okay, let's talk about her golf, I guess. Last season, Mia was plagued by a back injury. And I knew she could be a good golfer, and I wanted to push her, but with the injury and a dang good golf swing, or not a golf swing, but a softball swing, the odds were in our favor. So this season, wow, what a turnaround. Mia went from shooting 69 in our first match to 53 at Kimberlin. More impressive, Mia quietly shot a 114 at the district golf tournament, our second best score for the day. Despite the conditions at districts, which by the way, it was rain and wind and cold and a delay twice. It just wasn't ideal conditions. She persevered to shoot her best 18-hole round of the season. So to say I'm excited about what her senior season holds is an understatement. Next junior, Ava Meyer, Lemon. I think it finally clicked for Ava this season. You want to see a frustrated golfer working on her golf swing? Come to the range during practice with us and you will see Ava trying everything to perfect her swing. Ava showed up this season hungry and it showed. It showed when she shot 49 in her first match at Crown to lead the team. It showed when she shot 108 at the Dragon Invitational. It showed when she shot 47 and not only led the team at her last match of the season at Cape Country Club, a course she had never seen, but was also the individual match medalist. It shows through her consistency by keeping her scores in the 50s for matches all season long. Ava's a few swing changes from greatness, and she knows, so she works. I am ready, as I'm sure she is, to see that work pay off. I'm beyond ready for her to tackle her senior season and play the golf she deserves to play. And our last junior, Lainey Yamnitz. Pressure cooker, yams. She's got a little bit of everything, I guess. Pressure putter this year, because boy, did she make putts under pressure. She had another banner year. Lainey took 6th at our home tournament and led the team to our 3rd place finish. Lainey, like her teammate Ava, was consistently in the 50s and 40s to help the team to many successes as the season progressed. Her 42 led the team to a narrow victory over Lutheran South and Lutheran St. Charles, and nabbed her the individual medalist for that match. Lainey may be the hardest worker outside of practice. She works at the golf course and then either practices before or afterward. She practices at home every chance she gets. Lainey, once again, narrowly missed a trip to the state tournament. But, you know, I've never seen Silo Ridge, but next fall feels like a really good time to see it. Shoot, did I just jinx us? Wait a second. Oh, I've got pretzels. I think we're okay. Do you want these? For good luck? Okay. I'm just gonna beat that dead horse for a while. Seniors, Kylie Clayton. nickname because it's terrible, so I hope she forgives me. I remember Kylie as a middle school student, bright, hard worker, so kind. I'm glad to report none of that has changed. Kylie is a phenomenal young lady. Getting to know her on the golf course has been a real treat. This is her first year playing golf and first year with our program, and I've got to say I'm impressed. This game is frustrating, but rewarding, but really frustrating. And despite the many challenges Kylie faced on the golf course, I'm proud of how she pulled herself through the difficult situations and beginner's bad luck to be the best golfer she could be. Kylie had her best round at home versus Lutheran South and Lutheran St. Charles. Her 60 helped secure a victory over Lutheran St. Charles on the JV side. I only wish I could have had Kylie sooner, and she knows that, I tell her all the time. She has a lot of natural talent and heart, and I would have loved to coach her for longer. Thank you, Kylie, for giving us your best this season. You will be missed. Paige Hook. Oh, Paige. I just knew I was getting a good one when Coach Basler told me she was going to miss you on the volleyball team. You've been such a great addition. Paige was everybody's cheerleader, even her competitors. Paige primarily played JV with all our freshmen, but she loved that. You always worry about seniors and freshmen? No worries here. I'm sure they will miss Mama Paige next season. Paige improved drastically as the season went on. She shot in the 60s for her first 3 matches, wasn't happy with that, so she started shooting in the 50s, and never looked back. Paige's best round 53 came at Kimberlin, but she immediately followed that up with a 54 at home on senior night. She placed 4th individually at the St. Clair JV Invitational, shooting 113. My favorite story of Paige comes from the last match of the season at Cape Country Club. Paige's competitor was constantly on her cell phone texting, Snapchatting, calling and texting her golf coach, all of which are not allowed by MSHA. And my girls know you have to be in a legit emergency to pull out that cell phone on the golf course or I'm going to come at them. Well, Paige was trying to be nice about this girl being on her cell phone the whole time, and it was really starting to slow down play. So the last time that Coach Megan and I rolled up on Paige's group, we saw the girl just out with her phone texting. So I said, hey, what are you doing? And she just looked at me and she goes texting my mom, and Coach Megan goes, and I said, you're not really supposed to be texting anybody on a golf match. You're not supposed to be on your phone. So as we were driving away, I hear the girl ask Paige, we can't be on our cell phones? Paige goes, no, boo-boo. It's like my favorite story. I say no, boo-boo all the time to people now. Like Kylie, I needed more time with this big-hearted, hard-working young lady. Next senior, Reagan Nagger. Or Regano, Lego my Rego, the Reganator, as she's called, by more than just me now. So where to start? Yeah, you're welcome. Came to me before the season started with big designs on the season. She wanted her senior season to be great, and she wanted to do her part in making it happen, and she did. Reagan steadily shot in the 50s all season during her 9-hole matches, until senior night. Of course, she had to shoot her personal best of 46 and lead the team to victory. Oh, and to be the individual match medalist. Her win at the Farmington match play was the most exciting match I have witnessed in our 8 years of attending that tournament. Reagan was down on herself, and I kept telling her, stay positive, keep going after her competitor, just 1 hole at a time. In match play, it's 1 hole at a time. Each time I checked in on Reagan, she was closing the gap. When I found her again, she excitedly told me that if she won this hole, she would win her match. She had 2 fantastic shots and two fantastic putts to clinch her victory. I haven't seen Reagan that excited. Even when she comes to visit me in the middle school to run errands for Dr. Nix, and I make all my kids clap for her, or even when she calls shotgun on one of our early morning tournament days, and I talk to her the whole way to the golf course at 5:30 in the morning. She's really excited then, but she was even more excited at the match play. Selfishly, I want the 1 year back we missed with her freshman year, but I'm thankful for the time we've had with her. Thank you for your commitment to the program. You will be missed, I guess. And last but not least, Etta Halleh. Etta is our only 4-year member of the golf team this year. And if I've looked through our records right, she's probably the only 4-year golfer that has stuck through our program for 4 years. Most people join us their sophomore year. Etta embodies this team and its goals. She's blunt and direct, but very kind and fiercely loyal to her teammates and friends. Etta's best score as a freshman for 9 holes was 59. This year it's 47. For 18 holes, she went from shooting 132 as a freshman to shooting 100 at the Dragon Invitational this year to place 8th individually and help secure our 3rd place finish. Etta has steadily made progress through her 4 years at the golf program and commits herself 100% during her season, constantly working hard at drills and taking coaching during practice to make herself better. Coach Megan tells this story about, while I was at a JV match, Coach Megan was at a putting practice. Etta, despite being upset with me about having to have a putting practice on what was supposed to be a day off for varsity, worked incredibly hard to improve her putting, and she took every drill seriously. Guess what? It paid off. She works hard, she gets frustrated, but she never gives up. I love that. Watching Etta finish her career at districts this year was bittersweet. Half of my heart was so proud of all she accomplished not only this season, but through her 4 years with the program. The other half of my heart is sad. Sad to see her season end. Sad to see Etta end her tenure in our program. I feel like Etta and I grew up together through our 4 years as coach and player. Our program was impacted by her 4-year commitment, and like her other senior teammates, she will be greatly missed. Ladies and gentlemen, your St. Genevieve girls golf team. All right, now to some awards. First is the Spirit of the Game Award. Ben Hogan once said, "Your name is the most important thing you own. Don't ever do anything to disgrace or cheapen it." This award goes to an individual who embodies this quote in the spirit of the game of golf. This person has great integrity, great work ethic, great manners and etiquette, as well as a deep love and passion for the game of golf. This golfer knows the rules of golf in and out and is not afraid to enforce them. After an incident last season where she effectively defended the integrity of the game, she really worked hard this year to be bold and stand up for herself in the game of golf, without fear of retaliation from competitors. Even though direct and blunt, this player corrected her competitors in a way that was non-confrontational and to the point. I don't think she knows how much her strength with this tough aspect of the game, because there are no umpires or refs in golf. You are the rule official. Inspired and encouraged her teammates to also be defenders of the game. It's all you can want from a 4-year member of your program, to be an effective defender of the integrity of the game and to inspire other teammates to do the same. Some would say she has courage. You know, with a C, you know, like an ocean. The Spirit of the Game Award goes to Etta Halleh. The next award I want to present is the Most Improved Golfer Award. What can I say? Every golfer on our roster made improvements this season. Every golfer got better, but numbers don't lie. This golfer made leaps and bounds this season. This golfer's best 9-hole round last year was a 55, and this year it's 46. In her first home match of the season, she shot 59, and in her last home match of the season, she shot that 46 we just talked about. Last year, she was never an individual match medalist. This year, she medaled in her last home match of the season with a personal best, which I know she's been capable of shooting this whole time. This is a player who approached me before the season and starting to see what she could do to benefit the team, and took multiple rounds of coaching from Coach Mueller, Coach Megan, and myself to find what worked best for her swing, mostly with the driver. And she was the competitor the moment she walked up onto the tee box. This year's Most Improved Golfer Award goes to Wiegand. The Wiegand. The last varsity award for the evening is the Most Valuable Golfer. This player's score is counted in every single match and tournament, save one, this season. 13 competitions, 12 scores that were counted for the team score, and of those 12 scores, 6 of them were our lowest score for the team for that competition. So she led our varsity team in half of the competition she played in. This golfer's 9-hole scoring average was 51.65, and her 18-hole scoring average was 101.33. This is a player who's only played golf for 2 years, but manages to practice the most out of any golfers this year. Coincidence that more practice equals better results? No. But this golfer gets that, even if she doesn't understand that pretzels aren't made of wood. This year's Most Valuable Golfer is Lainey Yemnitz. Ladies, before you walk off the stage and officially end our season, I want to thank you all for a truly wonderful season. I don't know if I've enjoyed a fall golf season more than this one. I consider myself lucky to have coached every single one of you. Underclassmen, I can't wait to see you in the fall and continue growing with you. Seniors, your impact on this program and on me is lasting, and you will be missed. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
All right. Great job, girls golf. Coach, did you say that this was the 8th season? 8th? Good deal. Were you, Megan, were you an original team member when we first started it?
No,
You came like soon after the first year. 2 or 3. Yeah, I was hoping when we started the girls golf program that a lot of the schools around our area would follow suit, because there's not very many schools in the area that have girls golf. Basically Farmington, and then Cape, Notre Dame, Jackson, the next closest after that. But I was hoping that it would sort of spread to schools like Park Hills and Fredericktown and North County, and that just hasn't happened. So we have to travel really far and play a lot of private schools and a lot of very, very large schools in girls golf. So our girls have to compete time after time against schools that are sometimes double, triple, quadruple the size of our school. So they do very well. They compete very well, and they represent us very well. All right, we're going to do drawing for the banners, for the 3 banners. As soon as those banners come in, I'll give you a call if you were the winner and say, hey, your banner's here, come grab it whenever you're ready. Hopefully that's going to be in the next week or so. 50-50, if you have the winning ticket, just bring it up with you and claim your cash. If you are an award winner tonight, so if you got a medal or a plaque this evening for any of the 3 sports, stick around. Eric Vaccaro from the Herald will take your picture out in the foyer area, so don't take off. He'll get your picture taken for the Herald. And without any further ado, for looks like $58, not too shabby. Better than last night. Darn straight. All right, winning ticket. See if I can look at it a little bit better than I could last night. 835-328. 835-328. So if you've got the winning ticket, sounds like it's a secret, whoever has it. I was expecting like a woohoo or something, but
I got it.
there you go. I got it. Good boy, Lance. Come on up here in a minute and get your winnings. All right, cross country banner. We'll start with that one first. Sophia Fritsch. So Sophia, as soon as that comes in, Sophia, I'll get you that banner ASAP. Which one is this? Golf, girls golf. Carly. And volleyball. Maya. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming this evening. Drive safely. And again, thank you so much.